Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to Snake Pass. So, I'm a little frustrated with this game just from the word go, because there are no tips and tricks really, other than think like a snake and wrap and coil around the bamboo, things we've been doing. We have these spikes that have been introduced. I found out now that there are 15 levels, we're on level 6, so 15 levels across 4 worlds, so we're halfway through the game, it seems, and with the exception of the easy movement, which unless this easy movement really does an amazing job for us, which maybe it will, I can't beat this level. Unless the easy movement makes it way easier, which we're gonna try. So effectively this also means that I'm relearning the system. I would also say the movement speed is a lot faster here. Like this is happening really quickly and way easier than I thought it would to get up here. And certainly at a certain point I have had the thought that very much I may need to have a bit of a come to Jesus moment and realize that I've just gotten old and can't play games as well as I used to be able to, or at least think I used to be able to. But yeah, this seems way easier. So now I even see what these spikes are for. Is they're here specifically so I can coil myself around them and not have my tail fall off the edge. The tail movement thing. Oh, I keep forgetting now. The grip button is both triggers. So I'm kind of alternating at the moment between the grips when it's both triggers anyways. So you want to coil, wrap, and then tighten up, but I'm holding the right trigger right now, so I'm actually moving fairly slow anyways. Like, it does totally feel like there's way tighter controls with the easy controls. I don't know why they wanted... let's see. Wanted to give such a struggle to people by default. It screams of insecurity, and I get it, because this isn't really a particularly long game. This is stuff that would have happened for like NES games back in the day. Like it's totally something that would always occur. Did you hear that? Says the bird, who I don't even remember the name of. But yeah, in the old days, NES games would very often just kind of go crazy and make themselves very difficult, so it felt like you were really getting your money's worth. Well, thank goodness for that, because I didn't really want to rage quit this game. Like, I've got plenty of games on Steam. I've got more games than I'll probably ever than I probably will ever live to play. But it would really suck for a 2017 game that was probably overhyped, and in my mind that's probably why I wanted to play it a little bit more than it seems like it probably should have. I think it's pretty good that I didn't buy this on day one. This probably was I don't know what it started off as, but I wouldn't be surprised if this was a $35 or $40 game If it was a $60 game, then it would have been severely overpriced on day one. But if I got this for $15 to $10, that would be a lot better. Although this does seem like it is kind of such a short experience anyways, that even at that level, that's maybe a little still too expensive at 15. By the way, it seems like there was an achievement in that previous level where you're supposed to play the whole level without diving in the water. I don't think I'm gonna get all the achievements here because I don't think I'm gonna get all the collectibles. The best case scenario that's gonna happen is we're gonna move forward. We're going to try and forget about the fact that there was a major difficulty spike. We're gonna pretend like we're not playing on easy, and we're gonna get back into the groove as much as possible. I'm just kind of wandering around and collecting things here. I really can't understate how much easier it is now. Just pressing forward with the left stick and that controlling your movement and your head, instead of having to control the head of the snake and the body movement as separate things, like totally changed it. And in all fairness, there is no other game I can think of where you have to move the head of a character in order to vastly affect how their body moves. There, of course, are games where you have the ability to change the camera angle and change what you're looking at, but not separately move your head. There probably is one or two games that are weird games where a head is completely detached from a body and you're maybe controlling both the body and the head at the same time. I feel like I've seen at least one game like that, but that wouldn't really be a fair comparison to what's happening here. I kind of question whether the easy control scheme was something that was added later in a patch. I would assume it was before this was put on the Switch, which it was. This is working rather well. I still would like some story. We are kind of not getting any of that. And the major tip here is to save early and save often. Is there a coin somewhere hidden besides the gate key? Let's see. So we're gonna just tighten and go. Didn't work. Or wait until we get over, and then we just want to make a big deal about wrapping around the edge of each one of these. You're still running into the kind of same problem, though. The challenges are getting more difficult, and they kind of are sucking. Let's see. Go here. Wrap. Go here. Wrap. Grip. And then unravel yourself. A slight modification in this might have been helpful. It had it only really required one at minimum. Like encouraged 3 gate keys but required only 1. That would have probably been a better way to play it. And if you were to compare this to Mario 64, imagine how difficult some of those levels in Mario 64 would have been if they required you to get 3 stars before you could save and exit. Grip up, tighten there. I think this might just be a speed thing, honestly. I may just need to work very fast to kind of throw my body over all of the platforms. But I guess I'm also forgetting that both things are grip things. So they want you to grip and tighten up. They want you to be ready to go. And then let go of the grip. And I went back onto the grip immediately. Can I get high enough to get this any other way? No. Doesn't seem like it. So, yeah, I had hoped that we would have been done with problems like this. I had hoped that with the easy controls, while that does seem like that has made it a little bit easier, either I am just losing my touch that the little bit of skill that I learned in the 5 levels before, either I didn't get it, or these are just kind of incredibly unbalanced experiences and we didn't go through enough of the progress to become good at it in the first place. That's probably the case, if I was to guess, is that it didn't go through enough progress. So here, just see if we can get over here. How many failures at attempting something until something becomes frustrating and not fun anymore? That's probably a pretty personal question, but I would say when you're on your 10th try, when you hit double-digit numbers, that's a problem. And that's not just a problem of a potential bad player, that's a problem of a potential bad game. And sure, I could run and go and try and find the other collectibles, the other 2 gate keys, but what does it matter? If I can't get this one, I can't move on to the next level. Not unless the game is going to be fairly generous and maybe say that once you exit a level, you're fine. I guess we could try that. All progress would be lost. I guess now is as good as time as any. Let's just exit. Let's just exit, hit continue, and see. No, you cannot go any further. So I made it past level 6 to get stuck on level 7. This is not good. This just does not work. Let's say that maybe the red ones are the difficult ones. There's no way to leave or cheat out of a level. There's the red thing. And it's pretty linear, it looks like. Even though this level is mostly, it seems, designed to be designed in a way that you could transverse a couple different paths, it still looks like it actually is pretty linear. Alright. Something has to be said about a game just being unfamiliar in its controls. There's kind of an infamous review of a game that introduced tank controls, or the controls that almost every first-person shooter uses these days, and it's kind of ridiculed for just the reviewer saying that the controls are absolutely awful, and that's now the standard way in which most games are controlled. But I have to say, this does just strike me as a huge frustration. Let's see. So here I have to hopefully get over the edge. And here's one. So yeah, I've got about 15 more minutes, 11 more minutes of this episode, but I think we're rage quitting, and it's an odd soft rage quit, but then most rage quits always feel a little odd, because you definitely don't go into a game saying I'm gonna get frustrated at this game and just give up and move on to the next game. And for a lot of people, certainly, you don't have a next game. So if somebody had bought this on their Switch for a kid, and this was one of 3 or 4 potential kid-friendly looking games that they gave to their child to play, if they don't enjoy it, if they're not playing it, that's kind of big problems in many different ways, because then you have a parent that feels like the kid's unappreciative because they're not playing with the very expensive Switch game that they bought them. You have a kid who feels like they can't play their expensive cool gadget because they don't want to play that one game. That's why, at minimum, if you were going to gift a kid a console, I would say at least 3 games. Kids being in school, they don't have a ton of time to play video games, but 3 minimum, 3 really good ones too. Like, don't get 3 garbage games. There was once an incident where someone gifted me 3 games of a style I'd never play. One was like a Madden football game. I've never played any football games since NES football, and I have no interest in Madden. And the other 2 were like first-person shooter, MMO type multiplayer games. So that I also, again, not styles of games that I play. It certainly was not a satisfactory response when I had to tell them, look, this is just not a game I would ever play in a million years. I tried to be as kind as possible and try and seem appreciative, but it's not a good experience, and it does then kind of highlight that, and I imagine this is the case for a lot of gamers, is that their parents don't know what they're playing or what kind of games they like to play, that they've never shown any interest, or their friends, doesn't have to be the parents, could be friends or whoever was gifting their games. And yeah, you don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth, but when you're talking about interactive media, you kind of end up having to do that if you're absolutely not willing to play those type of games. Come on. Let's see. Can we? I don't think I can reach that. And because I'm in water, the guy can't grab my snake tail. Oh well, let's not bother with that. Actually, it doesn't matter. I mean, getting all these collectibles totally doesn't matter. I need to hurry up and find a checkpoint before I potentially die, and then also, how do you get out of here? I guess it's this ramp is the only way they really want you to be able to get out of the water. I need to find a checkpoint, and I need to find where the other thing is. The weaving your tail back and forth at this point also kind of just highlights a problem. You're gonna blister your thumb. You literally are, just waving and pressing forward and back and forth, and I imagine that would be the case for either control schemes. Didn't I start over here? Yeah. I started over here. And then, let's see. So I kind of don't even know what the third thing is. Yeah, this game is almost, in a weird way, it's worse because it looks like a kid's game, and then it throws a major amount of difficulty into it. And I've hit a frustration level with this game that I wouldn't probably give it the time of day for a sequel. Just to be honest with it, like I don't think I would bother if they made every promise in the world that Snake Pass 2 gets everything fixed and it's way easier, if it's potentially a completely different style of game even. I don't know if I'm willing to buy it and believe it. Alright. Let's see. Wrap around here. Gonna kind of grip and wrap myself around. And wrap myself around a little bit more. The camera angle is also a problem in this game. Like, undeniably, it's part of the problem. Right. And see, that was a great example of me gripping because I wasn't really sure that I should be gripping. Interesting. Did I spin this already? Why is this not activating? Do I have to twist it the other way? Yes, I do. So there's some sections here specifically designed around the idea that you're gonna have to switch hit effectively. And you have to kind of grip as you're twisting the other direction. Let's see. Can I get the bird to put my tail where it might just fall naturally? So I guess I could go down there and try and get that, but let's say no to that. And yeah, we're just back to this. Let's see. And then if I was to get that one, the next one just a whole bunch of spikes. Let's just look at what the next one would have been. Let's see. Gotta tighten up, wrap, run over here, come over this. Now there's no checkpoint on that. Tighten up a little bit and wrap on this. There's no checkpoint on this. That fills the water and gets rid of some of the spikes. But do I hear a timer playing? Possibly. And here's like a snake. Your visions don't do anything, your impressions. So you can't open a thing. Alright, come on. Lower and gripping. Not that low. Gripping. This is a pain. Yeah, this game's controls have crossed the line from being interesting, unique, and well thought out, as this is the kind of game that I might want to try, and now it's just gone into this is a frustration platformer in a nude disguise. Unlike something like Super Meat Boy, where it was fairly obvious that that you're going to die over and over again in Super Meat Boy, and that was the intent. Here, they've wrapped the game in this pretty facade, while still giving it really, really bad controls. Does the sun mean that there's a way up? Is there a way out of this? Was this the way you were supposed to do everything anyways? So maybe it's a bit of a snake puzzle. Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to come back and try and do this level a second time. This feels like a nightmare scenario. It does not feel good. Right. There we go. So I think the right move would be to drop down and find a checkpoint first. Come on. Even on the easy controls, you get this weird, super slow experience unless you are constantly waving the snake back and forth. And I get it. That's kind of what you wanted us to do. It kind of makes sense, but I'm just not on board with this movement mechanic. It's just too demanding. So I basically need an extra easy version. That would speed up my movement speed as I'm just pressing forward. Let's see. We made it this far. But here's the nightmare. We're gonna have to get on this and rotate over. I guess maybe we don't need to do this. I'm not sure actually if we need to do it or not, because it'll get me over the spikes, but it won't get me everywhere I need to go. There we go. I don't know if I was supposed to make this jump. Let's see. Now we're 5 minutes over, but we have a chance now of actually being able to beat this level. There's a gold coin over there. I'm not gonna pay any attention to it. There's a lot of creatures, little incidental creatures that I don't think are gonna play any role. There's probably a gold coin in that alcove to the left also, if I was to guess. Come on. Come on. This is an odd fixed perspective puzzle. Oddly, that's the part I enjoy the most is when the snake turns into a full square as he goes upstairs. Yeah, I just don't know how much more we can do with this. I suppose if we don't spend an hour doing levels, if we can actually finish this level and go to the next one, maybe we can just keep on pushing our luck and hoping. But this looks like this should be easy, and yet it isn't. Let's see, maybe it's a camera angle thing. Well, we might as well, in this case, drop down here. And we might as well wiggle our way over here and see if we find anything. There's a thing, certainly, but I don't know if I want to go and try and get that. The problem is I've skipped half the levels right now, saying that maybe we'll get a new ability, or maybe I'll just get better at controlling the snake. And instead of getting better at controlling the snake, the challenges have gotten more difficult, and very possibly I've gotten worse at controlling the snake. So yeah, well, not having a great time. See, that's where the early levels of a game like Super Mario 64 come into play. Like, had I gotten 30 levels or 30 stars equivalents collected, I mean, I guess each one of the gate keys might count as a star, and we're on 7, so we've gotten maybe 21, probably closer to 19 gate keys, but none of them felt easy by any means. So let's do an experiment here. We're already 10 minutes over. Let's jump back into this, play normal mode, and see if we have to collect everything all over again. Is there a way to skip this? No. So it really behooves you to get all the collectibles. Seriously? Not a single button. Well, left stick seemed to finally get it to... Nope. Left stick did not skip the cutscene. it would have also been very, very helpful for them to establish Noodle as more of a character. And the bird is more of a character. Alright. Alright, so the good news is it does seem like the that's probably a first death sequence. Right, so we need to grip. We desperately need the grip. Attacking this from the top seems to be the only option, and okay. Is there possibly something I can do against this wall to get back up? Because I'm kind of just delaying the inevitable. No, it's a sheer drop on either side, I think. So, unless I can do something like this and gain a lot of momentum, which I don't think it really lets you do, I'm doomed. And he kind of has a yell as he falls to his death. It feels like you need basically a flying cheat. Alright. So what I'm gonna try and do is that, and then the trick is all about getting back up. But we've already gotten all the collectibles in one level, so all we were really checking here was there a way to get where you're gonna have to play the level a second time? And I guess the answer to that is no. You don't have to play the level too much a second time. Although, if I hit quit right now, quit, all progress will be lost. So, you do have to finish the levels unless there's some kind of new game plus thing that unlocks later. Looking around here to see if there might be any indicator where that last coin is. So if every level, sans the cutscenes here, is like this, where you have to go back and get all the gate keys that are reset, then that would be playing the entire level a second time. And I'm totally not willing to do that. I don't even think I'm really willing to even play this game to completion. We'll have, I guess, one more episode where we'll try and stretch this out as much as possible. But yeah, there's a major difficulty spikes. And all fairness, I would also say the camera is not that good. This is frustrating. Where would the coin be hiding? It's clearly in some place I've yet to look. We'll also say playing this level a second time on easy does make it a little bit easier. That should be fairly obvious, but I think it is also worth saying. A little bit easier. Not, I think, as easy as it should be, though. I see no coin over here. And these symbols, I think, don't mean anything. And this, there is something about hitting B in front of those. So maybe you have to hit B in front of many of the statues. Maybe that's just an Easter egg or something. There's no sound effect when I hit B there. Looking all over the place for this coin. There it is. Okay. Okay. So we found the coin. How do we get it? I kind of feel like what I could do is yeah, it feels like that this is another one of those situations where had I direct control of a tail, which it's a little funny that a snake doesn't have direct control of his tail. Like, I should just be able to whip my tail while keeping most of my body weight. Some heads-up display here would probably be very useful. If it somehow could indicate where your center of mass is. Now I'm just being obsessive. Grip, 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 grip. Apparently there's no place to grip over in that area. What's the exit strategy, by the way, of this? This can't possibly be something that they play tested and thought this was going to go well for a lot of people. Just falling into the sky over and over again. I mean, maybe it is a little bit helpful that it's resetting you, but more modern technology of checkpoints would be way better here. Had, for instance, you instead of instead of checkpointing back to a save checkpoint that you have to activate, had it instead checkpointed back to the just right here, even the last safe location that you would have been on. Alright. So, trying really, really hard here. Alright, now where does that get us? That's everything. But all that did last time is give us an attaboy. And it still didn't really answer the one question fully, because it might be in the first level you have to collect all the gate keys, but in the next levels you don't, since this was a tutorial level. Come on. So we're gonna have to go a little bit longer just to jump into the next level that we haven't collected everything in. Yeah, it just says insane. But yeah, it doesn't mean anything. And then there seems to be a time trial in normal mode now too. So oh man, darn it, seriously gonna make me sit through all of this again. I can't exit out. I can't skip it. I can't exit out. If there is a time trial mode here, I don't know exactly how much time you need to beat the level in. I don't know if maybe time trial mode only pertains to levels after the fact. Let's see. We can see our progress is not reset. So just gonna hold A and try my best to beat a level here without any checkpoints and as fast as possible. But I don't know if the time trial symbol here would be less or more than the time trial mode, or just the same amount of time. Time trial mode seems somewhat easy by giving you an extra 30 seconds on this first level, but now in retrospect, some of those other levels, there's really no way you'd be able to do that until you'd become a speedrunner and an expert at this game and the controlling mechanic. It's just not likely that that would ever happen. So the time trial mode is actually kind of pointless, and the arcade mode is fairly pointless too. Okay. So either I didn't get a time trial, or there is some kind of arcade mode award you get, or maybe they just always fade out the time trial award. So here's, I know we're almost an hour long, but I wanna check a point here. It's another cutscene. Okay. As far as progress goes, you do have to get all of the gate keys every time you want to beat the level. So there's literally no way I'm gonna 100% this game. No way in the world. I'd be willing to go back into the level and try and find the coins and try and find the, I think they're called wisps, but they look like balls of blue water to me, but sure, let's call them wisps. But I'm totally not willing to play a level twice, and I'm not really even willing to play all the levels once at this point. We'll give it one more recording, and these are getting longer and longer just because of the frustration of it, but I imagine we'll just keep pushing this until we hit a level that we can't actually beat, and at that point we just rage quit. We're going to be about halfway through the game, I suspect. Well, we're on level 7 right now of 15, or 8 of 15. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.